January's not even over and we already have 2 Halloween videos in the bag. This year is starting off great. If you don't remember, in the last video we talked about an image from Total Film that showed Michael at the top of the stairs in what I am now positive is the Myers house. It was a great look at the mask and really the whole costume, including his iconic butcher knife, but I was hoping we'd get some more images coming out as the weeks went on because, well, the marketing has officially started for this movie and I'm excited about it. And as it turns out, not only did we get some official images from Empire.com, but we also got a few behind the scenes shots that managed to leak their way out. And because they're all kind of from the same part of the movie, I'm going to talk about them even though I usually don't cover leaks. We'll start out with the official images first. Like I mentioned, these are from Empire magazine. They're both really the same shot, but one is just zoomed in and super high resolution, which is great, and they're from the beginning of the movie. The reason I know that is because the shots are of Michael Myers standing on the porch of Laurie's burning house. So the way I think the escape is going to be explained is really simple because that's the vibe they've been going for with these movies, which I really appreciate. So the guy who's picking up Karen, Lauren, and Allison at the end of Halloween 2018, he probably saw her house on fire. I guess he's a neighbor or something, called the police, and the fire department obviously had no knowledge that Michael Myers was trapped in there. And then the fire department comes out and that's why they're crossing paths in the first teaser we got. And Laurie does not have time to tell them that Michael Myers is the one trapped in the basement and to just let him die. Just like let the house burn on top of him, let it kill him once and for all. They're gonna go inside, they're gonna use that Halligan tool to rip open those bars. He's gonna get the Halligan tool and he's gonna kill at least one of the firefighters. And that's what I really wanna see. Obviously the big marketing speak around this movie so far is that it's gonna be the bloodiest Halloween ever with the biggest body count. And starting out the movie using a tool like that to show some kills, that's gonna set the tone for the rest of the movie and give it that sort of rough, gritty grindhouse feel that the title Halloween Kills sort of elicits to me. Another thing that I think is going to help that tone and texture that I was just talking about is the fact that Laurie's house burning away is leaving behind this metal skeleton. You can see kind of the cage around her door that's meant obviously to be a trap for Michael or to keep him inside once he's in there. It just looks really cool and I love how much thought is going into these practical sets. You guys know what I like in movies, big practical sets that really feel lived in and real, and I think this does a much better job at showing how unhinged Laurie is at this point in her life and kind of how crazy the household Karen grew up in was. It contextualizes why Karen would be taken away from Laurie and why Laurie is acting the way she does in Halloween 2018. Obviously, I would have liked to see more of this stuff like that in the first movie, but I'm glad that they're going back and addressing it and showing, yeah, the house is burning away. It's leaving this ridiculous cage that's meant for like an animal and not a person, but Laurie sees Michael Myers as something like that. It's just really cool. I like stuff like that where they put thought into the sets and don't just try to make this cheap ass movie when they don't really have to. The best thing about all the images we got today though is that they very clearly show us what Michael's mask is going to look like in this movie. I feel like with the teaser we got on Halloween and then the shot we got a couple weeks ago, they've been building up to really just showing us in good lighting, totally high resolution, what the mask is going to look like. I was honestly totally fine with that Empire shot. I feel like it gave us good enough of a look at the mask, especially considering how far out this movie is. But then my friend Caleb Cassio showed me some new images that, man, they look really good. We especially get to see the mask really well in a shot of it laying on the ground from that part in the teaser, I'm presuming when Michael picks it up. And we also have a shot of James Jude Courtney holding the Halligan tool in front of the burning house, and you can see the charred look of his mask. Now it's 100% clear at this point that they're going for half the mask being burnt to a crisp rather than having the entire thing be messed up or melted into his face or having all the hair gone. And really, even though it's not realistic, I'm fine with them going with this look. I kind of talked about it last week, but it is a movie after all, and it's firmly rooted in supernatural territory at this point. So if they want to fudge the rules a little bit with how fire works, that's fine with me. Obviously, like it's unrealistic that Michael would even be able to live long enough for him to escape the basement in the first place. So if they want to have a mask that's going for style over realism, that's fine with me. I mean, it's just cheap latex after all. It really probably wouldn't even be wearable in 2018 just based on what it's made of anyway. So yeah, This is just a long way to say I'm totally fine with how the mask looks. I actually think it looks really cool. And if you're one of the many who found my channel through the video I did a couple years ago where I kind of speculated on how Michael would escape with some assistance from the novelization, I basically talked about how the coveralls he's wearing are flame retardant. So the fact that they're not torn to shreds or on fire or just burning away around him, that does make sense from a realism standpoint. So I'm glad that they're just keeping that nice and clean. The reason that I don't want them to change the mask too much is because we've already seen what that looks like in Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. I talked about this a little bit in my last video, but by the end of that movie, he's not Michael Myers. It's like a homeless guy who looks like Tyler Mane. It's not the shape. The mask is totally ripped away. You can see his face. He speaks at the end of that movie, and that's what stops Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 from feeling like an actual Halloween movie by the end. So I'd prefer them do something like, you know, Freddy, how he looks in the Nightmare on Elm Street movies versus how he looks in Wes Craven's New Nightmare. It's still Freddy, but he looks just a little bit different, and that's clearly what they're going for in Halloween Kills, and I'm more than happy with that. I've seen a lot of speculation from people at this point that the reason the mask is being taken off in the movie is so Michael can go find a new one, either at the hardware store or a Spirit Halloween, or maybe taking it off a kid who's dressed up as Michael Myers in poor taste. But I don't think that's something they would do. That's something you do to pad out a movie and add runtime. It's kind of like unnecessary steps. It's continuity breaking on top of that. It just seems too messy and complicated for what, again, they've been going for with these movies, which is just sheer simplicity of Michael Myers killing people and Laurie Strode trying to stop him with a bunch of complications thrown in the mix. And of course, I have to point out that I'm extremely happy and thankful that the people who decide what marketing goes out for this movie, whether it's Universal or Blumhouse, I don't care. If you're the person and you're watching, thank you so much for making sure that the vast majority of what we've seen so far seems to be from just the first act of the movie. Of course, the shot from Total Film, I'm assuming, is from the second or even potentially third act just because it's in the Myers house. But other than that, most of the teasers, most of the shots we've gotten, even the behind the scenes ones that have leaked, they're all from the beginning, and that's what we want to see. We all remember how bad it got with Halloween 2018, where by the time the movie came out, we had already basically pieced the entire thing together because of how many different clips and trailers and screenshots and all the stuff that comes out around a movie showed so much of the movie. We had stuff from the beginning, we had stuff from the middle, and we even had stuff from the ending that they didn't even use in the movie. It was just absolutely crazy how much was spoiled in the marketing. So far, so good with Halloween Kills. And speaking of Blumhouse and Universal, another good thing is that the image coming out today confirms that theory I brought up in my last video, which was that they are extremely confident that the movie will be out this year. And they're starting the marketing cycle now, and they're gonna have it run all the way up until this October when we see Halloween Kills, whether it's on our couch at home or in the movie theater, which is what I'm crossing my fingers for. So if we look back at Halloween 2018, I think the next thing we have to look forward to on top of more images like this is a poster. My best guess is that we'll see that poster around February or March, and then we'll have a couple months to wait until we see the trailer around June, because that's when it released for Halloween 2018, and I'm totally fine with that marketing cycle. Hopefully by June there's more vaccines out there, movie theaters can start opening again even if they're at limited capacity. We can all get excited for Halloween Kills. That's really what I want. By the end of this year, around October, I want to be able to just excitedly go to the movie theater and not have to worry about how safe it is, or if I post a picture from the movie theater, some asshole's gonna yell at me online that we're in a pandemic, because I know, and I'm sick of hearing about it at this point. I think it's more than fair to assume that we're gonna get a new Trick or Treat Studios mask because they released 2 of them surrounding Halloween 2018. I'd love a prop of the Halligan tool that's not a real one that I can wear if I do cosplay Michael Myers more. You know, if I can just weather it up and make it look more realistic. I'd rather carry that around than the real thing because I think it's probably illegal. And on top of that, I'd really like to see more hand prosthetics come out and more eye prosthetics come out, because Trick or Treat Studios released those, but they put out I think like 6 or 7 of them when they released. So hopefully the movie actually coming out means they've been able to make more of those prosthetics and we'll actually be able to buy them. That's what I really want. And those are my thoughts on all of the brand new Halloween Kills images we got today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, let me know down in the comments below, and also hit the thumbs up button. If you want to hear my thoughts as soon as I have them and get a little sneak peek of these videos before I post them, definitely make sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Both are linked in the description, and I'm Jimmy Champane on both websites. Anyway guys, my name is Jimmy Champane again, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. Shape on.